Hey everyone, Forever Lego Studios here. Welcome back to another video. And guys, today is the day, of course. It is the premiere of building Kashyyyk in Lego. I hope you all enjoyed that little intro to the video. The guy who did the one from Kamino, of course, did the one for Kashyyyk. I'm super proud of it. I couldn't be more happy to have that as the intro to this series. And of course, with the start of a brand new mock series, we are going to have a lot of fun going through new build techniques, new build processes, and all that new fancy stuff. So I am super excited to start off this series. If you guys are excited for building Kashyyyk in Lego, definitely show some love by smashing that like button. Guys, I can't wait to get started on this build process. Now, of course, you guys know that how most episode 1s usually go. This is going to be kind of a not really instruction, but basically going over the plans, the ideas, how large this mock is going to be, how long I think it's going to end up taking, and basically just going over some facts about this mock. Of course, as you can see, I did get started on some details and basically of the layout of the first section. The idea of is I wanted to make sure you guys kind of had a picture idea of what's going where, how large are the waves, or how large are the where the beach is going to start. Basically kind of getting a rough idea. I didn't want to go too far ahead of the video because of the fact that I didn't want to go ahead and start building before the episode, because then I'd get too far and then realize, oh snap, I didn't film that bit. So there are a few changes I do want to make in the coming episodes. Again, this one's going to be like a standard video showcasing, but with the continuation of this series, you're going to be seeing some changes from my previous series. But with that being said, I am excited to start the third large big build series on my channel. This is probably going to be my best, probably my biggest project I know at the moment, at least. So I'm super excited to get started. I know you guys have been getting hyped, getting ready. I know you guys have been liking all the little teasers and little things I've been posting on Instagram and YouTube for Kashyyyk, because I've just been super amped and getting excited. I know I haven't been the most posting or basically most active at the moment. I've mentioned this in the past few live streams and a few videos I've done. Basically, work has been kicking my butt lately, but I am at a point where I'm a lot more calmer. I'm able to film a lot more, and of course with that build series starting up, I'll be able to film a lot more with the coming time. So I am again super excited to start this build series, and yeah, with that being said, let's get it started with episode 1 of building Kashyyyk in Lego right now. Okay guys, so starting off episode 1 of building Kashyyyk in Lego, guys, I'm going to give you a kind of an overall look of what the mock looks like. Now, of course, you know, you guys are used to getting the overview shots, and right now, of course, it kind of looks very bare, I guess. But, of course, this is episode 1, so there isn't going to be, you know, this whole section completely done. So, of course, we do have some lineups of the mock. I'll go over into detail what this is, but of course I did want to kind of showcase what's going on with like some figures and what I have for Kashyyyk so far. So of course I will be using my 2 gunships right there. I think I'm going to be putting one in the hangar of the actual Venator, and again I'll go over this in just a few minutes, and I'll probably I'm thinking about making one of those gunships crash or something like that, maybe in the ground. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think I should use, because I'd like to keep one built and then maybe use one as a crashed vehicle. Now of course I do have the Wookiee army. Now this is probably, you know, comparing the two, I definitely have a lot more Wookiees, and what's really funny is to think is I'm still gonna need more Wookiees. Like, this is a lot, not gonna lie. Like, this is actually really cool seeing all the different types of Wookiees, and thinking about it, Lego actually has been pretty generous on giving us plenty of Wookiees, especially, you know, different varieties. You've got like the Rebels, you've got the standard Wookiee, you've got like different variants of Chewbacca. Now I do want to point out the reason why I will be using these Chewbacca's right here. This is from Solo: A Star Wars Story. It's kind of in his breaking out of the transport ship or whatever. I can't remember what it was called. It was that train from Solo: A Star Wars Story. I'll be using these guys because I kind of think it'd be pretty cool, because of course I'm going to have the main Chewbacca, but I think I'm going to use these guys as kind of like heavy Wookiees, or the more bulkier heavy weaponist, basically Wookiee, kind of a beefier one. So I thought it'd actually be pretty cool utilizing those guys, and depending on how I like them, I might actually pick up a few more just for that reason. So I thought that'd be pretty cool. That is what my Wookiees are. The Wookiee army, I guess you could call it, is going to be mostly of these figures right here. These are the most recent one that came in, the 20th anniversary AT-RT Walker. So I'll be using most of these are going to be in the mock. Now, of course, I will be like buying more of the Rebels Wookiees as well, and kind of just moving them throughout the MOC. That way, it's not a lot of them right next to each other. But that is, of course, the main army is going to be that version of the Wookiee from the 20th anniversary ATRT. So moving on, we of course do have some more figures. We have the Scout Troopers, and this is kind of I know I need to build up my army. I do have like 4 more inside the gunship right there, but basically I do need to build up my scouts. They're not the cheapest thing in the world, but I'm working on getting a lot more soon. So it is pretty cool getting to see those figures. Again, I am going to need a lot more of them. I do have like the officers. I did switch out the legs for the double molded with the black boots underneath them because I did get some in a large order that I actually posted a while back. So I'm going to be switching them out, and I will probably buy some more officers and do the same. Now, if you're wondering why I have the 501st clones right here, the idea is in the back of the MOC. Again, I'm going to showcase this here in a second. But in the back of the MOC where the Venator is, with a hangar, basically, since the bulk of the figures of these, the Scout Troopers, are going to be on the battlefield, I'm going to be utilizing the 501st in the back of the MOC inside the hangar. Basically, like getting maybe the one of the gunships ready, or basically getting stuff, normal stuff you do in a hangar. And this is actually canon. The 501st did help out in the Battle of Kashyyyk, so I think it would be, so it isn't something I'm pulling out of nothing. It is canon, and it also gives me a reason to use these beautiful clones right there. So pretty exciting. Now, of course, I will not be using those 2 sets right there, the droid gunship and the AT-AP Walker from Lego. So I will not be using those. I will be using customs in the actual MOC, but I do not have either one of them built just yet, so kind of have them as placeholders for the time being. So yeah, I do have some crates behind there. I will be building a lot more. My buddy Marfan's actually working on a few for me at the moment, so huge shout out to him. But I am super excited to get started on this project. So with that being said, I do have the layout of the plans. I actually drew this up a week or so ago, so I've had this for some time, and I've been deciding, going over it, making sure I did it correctly. I was looking at concept art and looking at different pictures from the Kashyyyk map from Battlefront 2, as well as pictures from Episode 3. So this is basically the ideal plan, and of course, as you guys can tell, and I mentioned this in the last couple Kashyyyk mentioned videos, basically this MOC is going to be 5x6 base plates, or gray base plates. This is my largest project I've ever done. Hoth was the biggest one prior to this, and that was only 4x5. So basically this whole row and this whole back row was not, basically this right here was Hoth. So we're adding a lot more to this actual MOC, including like raising it, or not raising it, but widening it 1 row of base plates. So I am super excited to make this my biggest project yet. But basically the idea is, since I am limited on space and this is my biggest project, the idea is I'm going to be working on 1 section at a time, and once a section is complete, basically I just not dismantle it, but set it off to the side and start on the next project. So of course this first section is going to be this one right here. This is basically the beginning of the beach, the opening of the water, and this pretty much is what this area right here is. So basically this first section, of course, is going to have that open water, and I have some of these water basically signifying how far certain colors of the water are going to go, basically from the edge of the base plate to right here, or the line of blue or dark blue tiles. Basically that's going to be the darker portions of the waters. Anything past this is going to be the lighter blue, and then past that's going to be like foam and beach. So I do want to say I am going to be doing some different things with the water. I know I guess the easiest would be water studs again, but I've had my filling with water studs for the time being, so I'm going to be using tiles and plates. But the idea I have is basically to give water underneath the tiles and plates, basically putting like dark patches or light patches to give it give the idea or illusion that the dark portions are like really deep in the water, and the light portions are like when you're getting up closer to the sand and you can kind of see underneath the water. So basically that is the idea. This is going to be the water portion. The beginning or edges of this base plate or section is basically going to be the dark gray, or not gray, dark tan, basically giving it that wet water or wet sand feel, and it's going to go up to at least right here. And when that starts, basically the rest of this is going to be regular tan or sand, basically. And there's something that I looked up on, because originally I was going to have it kind of cut off like this, like normally, and have the rest of this MOC be forest. But then I looked at some concepts, and I looked at some images, especially from the movie. Basically, I found out that the beach actually, or not the beach, but the sand actually extended into the middle of it. So you had the forest kind of on the sides, and then the sand basically extended far into the forest. And that's something I wanted to add, because I am trying to get as close to the movie as possible. So I think that's actually really cool, because you'll have this huge beach, and you'll be able to, you know, see all those cool action shots with the Wookiees and the clones, as well as with droids. Of course, I will be using 2 droids, or no, not droid, but separatist Alliance tanks. I have a design I'm looking at right now. Haven't built any of them, but you know, eventually when I do get to that point, I will be building 2. Gonna have one right here and probably one right here. I'm thinking about having one kind of being blown up by a couple Wookiees, kind of signifying that scene from the movie. I think that'd be pretty cool. Moving on to the beach, of course, these are kind of those little barriers that the Wookiees were hiding behind in episode 3. I'm probably gonna have a couple more, just depends on how large it is. Now, if you're curious what these little circles right here are, basically they are little poles with little platforms on top of them, and basically I have them signified on the base plates right here, kind of where they're going to be. It's the same on this side right here, and basically they're just kind of little pads that I guess Wookiees can jump onto, or something like that, that leads them to the trees. And that leads me on to the next part, which is right here and right here. Those are trees. Those are best of my drawings, so you know, please don't rip me a new one in the comments section on my drawing skills of trees. But the idea is I will be having at least 1 or 2 trees, because you know, that is something that I want to have. And something I also realized when I was looking at pictures from episode 3, basically these trees were actually really up close to the water, much closer than I was expecting. Because the left one is actually, like, I think, if not almost touching the water. So I think that'd be pretty cool to kind of just have the tree kind of start up around this area right here, and then continue moving back. So I don't know how large I'm going to make them just yet, because of the fact that, you know, I'm trying to work out the scaling, of course. So, but that is something exciting. Moving on to the next section, this is going to be, I'll be starting this once this section is complete, or at least, you know, close to completion, to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm done with this section. So this next section, of course, is going to be the middle one. We're going to have the beginning portions of the forest, or the big portion of the forest. You're going to have another tree. You're going to have these large containers. I'm going to be putting the minifig scale AT-AP in this section as well. I will be building that in this next week, because I just got all the orders and parts in. I actually have the bin right here to build the AT-AP right here. So this is actually all the parts I'm going to be needing to actually build that giant walker. So that's the goal for the next week, is getting that thing built. But the idea, of course, is to put that in the next section and kind of have like the vehicles, or the big Republic vehicles, coming from here. Now, for those of you who are curious about if I was going to be doing a minifig scale Republic turbo tank, or if I was going to build one, I know there's some really awesome designs out there. And the answer is, I do not know yet, because I would love to utilize a minifig scale turbo tank. It's just that price cost is going to be insane, in my opinion, because I've spoken to a few people, and it's probably going to cost around $1,000 just for that vehicle alone. So that's going to be one of those things where I kind of I'll figure out later down the road whether or not I want to spend money on the turbo tank, and because I know it's going to be build up a lot of space. If I'm correct, it's probably going to be around, you know, 2 base plates long. So it just depends on how I feel like the spacing is, or the space I have on the MOC, and whether or not I want to actually build one. So with that being said, that's going to be the middle section. Again, it's kind of just going to be the forest area. I've got some ideas. Like I said, maybe I'll have like the a gunship kind of crashing down into that area. So moving on to the final section, which I think a lot of people are going to like, and that is going to be the Venator hangar. So something I mentioned in the announcement video is I was going to be trying a minifig scale Venator. Now, being fair, I was meaning like as close to scale as I possibly can, because of course building a minifig scale vendor, that's a, you know, a huge challenge as it is. And the idea, of course, is going to be the hangar portion, where the side portion of the hangar, you've got the ships flying out of it, and you kind of have that ramp coming down. You can kind of see it in the back of episode 3 when they're on Kashyyyk, but what is really nice is if you go on Battlefront 2 and go to the Kashyyyk map, you'll get a better viewing of that. And I'm actually going to be using that for visuals and help me kind of scale it to a minifigure. So that being said, you're going to have this big ramp right here. That's what this is right here. You've kind of got this like pathway leading to it, and then you've got this platform ramp basically going up so you can get inside the actual hangar. This right here is the basically entrance or doorway, and in here is basically a bunch of open space I can utilize for the actual inside of the hangar. So my idea is, of course, to have kind of like one of the gunships parked in this area. There's going to be a lot of really cool things inside that room. I can do a lot of different scenes or interior things in the actual hangar, because that is a lot of space, and like that's just that last row of base plates right there, and then I have these little corners right here to utilize. So I haven't quite decided what I want to do in them. I'm kind of thinking about doing maybe another fan appreciation room. Just depends on how what I think about at the end of the mock. So, but that is probably going to be one of the last things I do, because that's the last section. But yeah, that's pretty much the plan set for this mock. Again, I'm super excited to get this project started, because of the fact that, this is something I've been wanting and planning for quite some time, and I know you guys have been excited for this series to start, because, it's awesome. Like, this is a big project, as well as, like, it's Kashyyyk. It's one of the cooler or coolest battles from episode 3, and plus, I know for me personally, David's building Kashyyyk kind of got me into actually building large-scale mocks. That kind of motivated me and inspired me to do my own creations. And so, with that being said, me actually doing my biggest project being Kashyyyk, I am very hopeful that the series will turn out well and do justice for Kashyyyk. So, with that being said, I do hope you all enjoyed today's video, and let's head out to that outro. Okay guys, so that was episode 1 of Building Kashyyyk in LEGO, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, definitely show some love by smashing that like button, as well as let me know in the comments section below what you guys think of the start of the series. Again, there are a few things I'm going to be doing different throughout the series. Today was kind of a, show and tell kind of thing, basically showcasing what my ideas is, what the layout of the mock I'm planning on doing, and basically just going over the facts. But next week's episode, I do have a lot of plans now that I can actually start building. I didn't want to get too far into the actual building process today, because of the fact that I didn't want to get too ahead of myself. And I actually almost did it a couple times because I kind of got motivated to actually start building and keep on going. But I was like, you know what, I got to hold myself out so I can actually, go over the plans and not like have a bunch of progress completely done, or at least started before even episode 1 even happened. So with that being said, I am very happy. I do have a lot of parts on hand now that I can actually utilize and use for that. My goal for next week's episode is, like I said, I do have all the parts for the minifig scale AT-AP. I'm going to get that built, as well as I want to get a lot of this water progress done. I do have a lot of tiles and a lot of plates for that, and I can kind of showcase how I'm going to be doing the water, as well as like how I'm going to be doing the border. I haven't decided quite yet if I want to do another black border or just a textured border. So let me know in the comments section below if you want to see a black border around the mock, or a kind of like textured, kind of like what Jay did with Starkiller, as well as Matt did with a Nexus. So let me know in the comments section below what you guys think. And yeah, I hope you all are going to get excited for this series. And if you're new to this channel, definitely subscribe, because you guys are not going to want to miss this series. So with that being said, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.